seconds for us to be live everywhere. So we're just going to give it like 30 seconds. In
Okay.
this time span, I'm going to go run and grab the other Snowcrest Ranch hat. Just give me a second.
Okay, you got 20 seconds.
All right. Matching hats, baby.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go. Oh, here's Instagram. It is live.
Ooh. So restream, huh?
Yeah,
I've been
man. We're using Restream right now.
I've been checking out all the different like StreamYards, Restream to try and be able to do this for my shindig.
Hell yeah. Tell us about it. What's your shindig? Go ahead.
Oh, my shindig is the Veteran Project.
That's right, baby.
We are based out of here in Massachusetts. We just bring vets on, hear their stories, talk about pre-military, military, post-military, and where they're at now. Talk about some stories, just for them to air anything they really want. Um,
Very cool.
what one thing we all have a problem doing is talking. So, and as you know, once we get talking, we don't shut the fuck up.
That's real shit.
So,
And that's a good thing, especially when you're around guys that you know you can talk to.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, you just got to feel comfortable, get in that comfort zone. And, when people are actually listening to you, that's when you talk more, you
That's
know?
right.
So
And you can
it's,
tell when someone's actually listening to you or not.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's like, there's people that you surround yourselves around and, you could talk to them or you try to talk to them. They're like, yep, 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 yep. They're not, they're just like, oh, fuck, I'm getting bored by this dude talking. So,
It's almost like they're trying to tell you to shut up without saying it.
yeah. Yeah, it's annoying. It kind of bums us out. It really makes us feel like that we're not like wanted. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm wasting your fucking time.
Right. Yeah, that's something that I hear from a lot of different people, honestly. It's infuriating to hear that such important stories can be shrugged off, you know?
Hmm.
But at the same time, I also recognize and can understand like how people they if you've told this person your story before and you just keep on repeating yourself over and over and over and over and over again, I
Hmm.
can see how that's annoying. Like
Yes.
I am so understanding of that. It's unreal.
Yeah.
However, if it's a first time and you asked the fucking question, then it's you, bud. You're the problem here. You're the one that asked me to tell you, and now you're making me feel like I'm a shithead for
Yeah.
telling you. Yeah, I can't stand
And
that.
it's like that's one thing that I realize that I do. I repeat myself a lot, with things.
Yeah.
But it's almost kind of like that way of like looking for reassurance, you
Mhm.
know. And we keep repeating it to try to accept it at some point. It's like, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, and it's like at some point it's gonna break, and
Mm.
you accept it.
That's interesting, uh, because I feel like sometimes also people repeat themselves because they're trying to avoid getting deeper.
Hmm. Yeah, dude, it's like a base layer, plain and simple,
Yeah.
and it's like kind of like how you just keep poking at the top, and then dude, there's something down there. There's something down there, and it's like how we, like this past week, we were able to pick into some deep stuff, dude, and
Yes. Yeah.
it's good. Guys need to hear themselves say that.
That's real shit. I also there's a reason why we have I said it to one guy that was out there, and we're not going to say names or give like we can talk about stories and stuff, but we won't say names
Yeah.
to protect the identity of the individuals that were out there. If people really dug, they could probably figure it out. But the bottom line is it's really up to them. It's their story to share and tell. But what we're talking about for those who are just listening, so Jeff and myself and a bunch of other guys went out to Snowcrest Ranch out in Montana, and we had a retreat for Project Refit. I was one of the retreat leaders. Jeff was a participant actually, and Jeff has really enjoyed Project Refit so far. Hearing the story from Wade first and foremost, and then he's like, "All right, this retreat thing sounds interesting. Let me come out." He came out and he got a little bit out of it. And he's going to talk about that today, as well as he's interested in also starting his own fire team and supporting Wade in doing so up in the Massachusetts area, which is super cool. Um, but back to the point of you bringing up the, digging deep and prodding. So one of the reasons why uh, we have and allow guys to come out on multiple retreats is
Hmm.
because, you know what? We get to build trust with you, and you get to
Yeah.
learn that we're not there to harm you. We're not there to hurt you. We're not there to try to come at you. And like, I could have dug deeper with some of the guys there, but I didn't. And I chose not to dig too deep because I could tell that there's like this limit, like, I just met you. I respect that. I'm not going to
Yeah.
get too hardcore with you, but I will when you come out on more. And if you come out on more, because then you're showing me you're growing, you're getting something out of it. You want to hear more truth. You want to lay out more truth. You want to take more accountability for things, because some of the things that I was hearing from some of the guys was like, "Oh, dude, you need to hear that you're your own problem. You are the guy. You're the
Hmm.
thing in your life that is causing this, right? Like, but also at the same time, some guys need to hear like, "Hey man, that wasn't your decision. That wasn't you. You didn't do that.
Yeah.
You're taking too much accountability for other people's actions and other people's issues." Right? So there's like this weird balancing act and game that has to happen. It's not weird, but it's just life. Actually, shouldn't have said weird, but you know what I'm saying. And
Yeah. Yeah.
like, it's really it's a growth process, and I hope some of the guys did take a lot out of it, and I think most did. But I would love to hear from you, like, kind of like some of your reactions, what you got out of it, the peace that you might have found and felt when you were out there. Have you rethought about anything? Any moments when you came home? Like, take us through it, brother.
Man, dude, it's like when I get out there, I had never met
Yeah.
anybody, and even the two guys that I met at the airport, I didn't really talk much to them, and it's I went in blind, and I'm kind of glad I did. One thing that I've realized with myself now, I've decided 2025 focus more on myself, take some chances, understand other people,
Very important.
and when I got out there and, put in the group text like, "I'm here, where are you guys?" And I just see this random ass dude come walking up to me. It's like, "You Jeff?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Oh, we're right over there." So walk over to the back of the Jeep and I'm like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Jeff." And you can see that there's some other guys that are, they're in an awkward stance because they're doing
Yeah,
something new
yeah,
for themselves. They don't they
yeah.
don't know anybody. And, yeah, but just to, break that ice, you just gotta
Yep.
be you, and get accepted for who you are. And I know for me, coming all the way from Massachusetts to Montana, just foreign ground, go from city life to middle of bumfuck nowhere. It was
Legitimately, by the
mind-boggling,
way, everybody, those you listening, those you with us here, it's in the middle of nowhere, like legit, like dirt road for like 10
Mhm.
miles. Like, you are going into the mountains in
Yeah,
the middle of nowhere.
yeah, dude, it was incredible, and like because obviously when we got to the ranch, it was nighttime, and I'm like, Jesus, I might as well just put a blindfold on from point A to point B, then wake up in the morning. Because I remember when I woke up on Thursday morning, I'm like, man, I can't wait to see this place. And then the sun came over the mountains, and
Holy
you're like,
shit. Yep.
whoa, this is
Yep.
bigger than I am.
It is a
And
huge place. And it's also very humbling too. Yeah.
yeah, dude, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And just to go from just to go from the middle of Massachusetts to almost Idaho, friggin'
Yep.
Wyoming, wherever, just outside of Yellowstone pretty much,
Right on the
and
border
you
of
just
Yellowstone. Yep.
experience Yeah, dude, you just and, like, just experiencing nature like that. Now, I'm not a hippie like
Yeah,
that, you
yeah.
know? Like, I'm far from that, but damn, like, the sound of silence is what gets you thinking, it gets your mind running. It does get your anxiety going a little bit, starting to get the overwhelming feeling, but I just remember standing there and I couldn't I couldn't figure out why the fuck I was there, and
Yep.
I said that to
Yep.
you while I was out there. So, and,
And that's actually you right
yeah.
there.
Yep. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, it was just fucking beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful, and I really enjoyed that.
The walk that you took there, because you went out alone here, like, you were just in your thoughts. You actually right after that
Yeah,
you
dude,
Yep, go ahead.
yeah, because we were just kinda in the group there and, you and I had just talked, and I was like, "I'm gonna go take a step." And, just went for a little quick 10-minute walk and, walked out, looked at everything, looked over the little cliff's edge, and I don't know, I just started to start thinking about myself, what I need to do, what I need to say, and who I need to
There's
be.
actually one photo of you where you're like this is you super far out, and you're just, like, staring.
Yeah, I don't do that often. I
You
don't
know what
do
I
that
hope,
often at
dude? I
all.
hope that you can go back to this moment right here that, and I can't wait for you to get these photos. I'm trying to figure that out right now, why it's not accessible. I'm probably gonna have to create, like, a Dropbox. But anyway, I hope you can go back to that moment right there and in your mind anywhere and just relax, you know? And
Yeah,
I just that's exactly why we do this. Because there has to be moments created,
yeah,
true peaceful moments created inside your mind that you can go back to. That's one of the biggest pieces here. And of course, the
yeah,
conversations that we have are like insanely deep, right? Like they get deep, they're hard.
yes.
We challenge you, we call you out on shit. I actually felt pretty comfortable calling you out on your shit. I felt like you were ready for it and you wanted it. Um, but then again,
Mhm.
you also called yourself out multiple times. Like you heard yourself saying things out loud and you were like, that's something I could do, right? Maybe that's a sacrifice I could make, And like I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, man, that's it right there. That's important. So, um,
yeah, it's and like I said at the fire, problem solving, that's what keeps me away
yeah.
from my
You remember what I said
depression.
to you about problem solving?
Um,
All right, so I'm gonna say it again
no.
here, and I was hoping you'd remember, and I'm gonna say it again, and it's good for everybody to hear this. So, problem solving is actually really important for not committing suicide, believe it or not. So, because you said you're
Mhm,
like, I never had the thought of wanting to kill myself. Like, I never struggled with that thought. I knew I had to improve things. I knew I had issues. I had to like. You look at a problem and you're like, good. Like, all right, this is something for me to solve. It's another thing for me to learn from, and problem solving is a key aspect to not wanting to kill yourself. You need to look at problems
mhm,
like it's good. Like, all right, like for me, like I needed to start working out again. I've been working out like fucking crazy and I took off for like 8 months or whatever. I don't know why, but I was like, fuck this, dude. I like getting in a gym. I like working out. I want to be strong. Like I have to be strong or my fucking lower body and my back is going to fall apart. So like, here we go. Let's do it. Let's
mhm.
solve that problem. And too many guys don't
Yeah,
believe in themselves or their ability to actually solve problems. So,
yeah. Yeah, dude, you just gotta take ownership in your own story, man, And it's beyond, you know, you could get the help all you want, but you have to correct yourself into wanting to put the right foot in front of the other,
yep,
So, and it's like that corny saying, guy said it multiple times at the fire. There's a reason why your rearview
yep,
mirror in your car is small, you know, and yeah, I know with me, like, I've been a piece of shit. I've done a lot of things. There's a lot of things I do regret, but I don't let it bother me anymore, you know. And accepting, a lot of stuff from the military. That was a huge part. You can't let stuff that happened 12 years ago
That's right.
dictate who you are now, when you were a fucking kid.
We had this
So,
comment, by the way. Kylie said, "Bumfuck nowhere." Okay, you're deaf from New England. Hell yeah. That's
absolutely,
great.
absolutely. Sometimes proud of it, sometimes
That's
not, but
great. So, what would you
but,
say from this retreat also? Like, what were some other moments and some other memories that you have that you're gonna hold on to?
there's well, that moment that when we were on the side by sides going through the bison and all that, and, not through them, around them in a safe distance. Um, it you're looking at these creatures, these aren't
No.
creatures you see every day, and, the mass size of them, and it just was cool with the curiosity of them, because you could stand your ground and they just keep edging a little closer and closer. They're like,
Yep.
"Who the fuck are you?" They're like, "We don't see you this many people out here often." And, but when you told us to just, "Hey, take a moment of silence, just listen to them," and you just sat there and you just like listening to them breathe, listening to them eat, walk around, and also it's just quiet, and people don't hear that
Mm.
quietness ever. So it was very peaceful. That was a moment that was
That's
very
awesome.
peaceful.
I'm happy that moment did that for you. I try to do that on every retreat, where I have everyone pause and I'm like, "Hey, just listen. Let everything wash over you.
Mhm,
Take it in. This is a moment that you're probably going to remember for the rest of your life. Trust me." And I did
mhm,
that in Washington as well. And I told Tanner and Dan before we got out there, I was like, guys, there's going to be a moment where I'm going to ask everyone to just like, stop and just take it all in. Because
yeah,
the thing that I think about, and I did bring it up around the fire. I don't think you were there for this moment, but I was talking to one of the guys and I said to them, I was like, man, like, there's something about the fact that you guys played a part in Ted Turner owning this piece of land and now giving it back in the way that he is to allow us to use it. You fought for that. This land, those bison, all
mhm,
of that. You don't own it necessarily. You played a part. None of us really own it, right? But like you played a
yeah,
part in protecting the sanctity of that piece that you just found. Like you had a huge part
yeah,
in that to allow that to happen. At one point, you made a decision in your life that allowed the continuation of that piece of land to have nobody touching it, you know? So that's something that
mhm,
is, I really hope we can dig in and find, or we can dig in and help others find that realization that what you're looking at, everything around you, you played a part in it. You played a part in protecting that.
mhm. Yeah, I never really thought think about it like that, because I know when I was younger, when I first got out of the military, the ego, it's like, "Yeah, I fought for your freedom, yada, yada, yada." And, but, to go on to such a massive sanctuary
Mhm.
for a place to heal, I never really put it like that before. I kinda like that. And, that's Ted's way of giving back to us. "Hey, thank you for what you did. Enjoy this property, see it for what it's worth, see what I'm trying to un you know, do here," and he's doing incredible work by, just all the stuff that Billy and the ranch crew are doing is
Yes.
pretty
And
awesome.
that is something that I really do try to make a concerted effort in pushing the envelope in terms of recognizing that you played a huge part in America, right? In our history and what we're doing,
Mhm,
um, and protecting it. Like that is something that it brings that value, that purpose. It's a reminder of that you did play a huge purpose and a huge role in it, and people can continuously do that. Like it doesn't matter if you're a veteran, it doesn't matter if you're a first responder or civilian. You can play a part in the continuation of this great society that we've been building. You know.
mhm. Yeah, and, and then you on that property, you look at like, we went some of those old homesteads, and it's just like, think
Mm.
of the struggle of the people that went through just to get to that homestead. Like, where did they end up? Did they survive? Because all this, you know, all the covered wagon stories of back then, the Oregon Trail and all that, that's where it all was. So there's just so much history, with the natives and the Mormons and all that other stuff. I don't know, it's just truly incredible grounds to see the bigger
Yeah, it
picture
is.
of America.
It is amazing to experience the sheer mass of what we have here in this country. I saw this meme one
Mhm,
time. It was very real. I don't think it was supposed to be funny, but it was very real. Um, and it was actually a European that was like, "You wonder why people don't leave the United States and to come see Europe all the time." Well, have you seen how big the United States is? Like, they have so much to see in one lifetime. Like, in the United States alone, like, it's so many
mhm,
things, so many beautiful places, and it's real, man. Like,
yeah,
there's so much beauty in what we have, so many natural resources that we have, just like the sheer majesty of this nation and this land that we get to share together as Americans is genuinely special. And really just trying to push that
mhm,
narrative through into the minds of the people that are coming out. It is healing. It is healing. It's very because it's
yeah,
the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Very much so.
yeah. I'm very grateful to to
Yeah, it's
experience
cool.
that
So
rush.
what'd you think of Billy, Alex, Kate? What'd you think of all those guys?
They were great, man. It's pretty cool to just see people that, do live in isolation like that, and, it's like they flat out said, it's like, it's nice when we have people come out, fun people, and, you get them laughing, and, it's like Alex, he just wanted to be there with us just to hear us
Yeah.
break each other's balls and all that,
Yeah,
and
he's cool.
dude, he loved it, and, Kate, she was awesome.
She was so cool.
That's
She is so cool.
that, uh the koala thing.
Qualifications.
Yeah, qualifications, some weird thing that the army does, but, it's Kate killed it. She whooped
Yeah,
your ass and she whooped her husband's ass,
that's
so
right, that's right. I actually afterwards, I was like, "Damn, like, I wish I stayed up longer." Like, I could have. I was just like, "This is all right, I'm done." Like, I did it. Like, I did the thing. But now, like, looking back on it, I'm like, "Dude, I kinda wish I went longer." That's the struggle of going first, Like, you're just like, "All right, I did it," you know?
yeah, but you gotta remember, if you go first, you gotta set the standard.
Yeah.
So go till you break pretty much.
Yeah. I should have. I didn't. It's alright.
But that, all the people that work on that ranch are so knowledgeable, just asking them. And, they love their job.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, look at Alex, kid's young. He was a waiter before, and now he works on a ranch. He met his wife working on a ranch. I mean, that's fucking cool, man. Not a lot of people, could say that and live in such a beautiful area.
Yeah, that is a really cool story, and it is a really, it's a different lifestyle, and it's one that, something that I've always, since I was probably 17, 18 years old, I was like, "Man, I want a ranch." Like, I love horses, all that stuff. Like, I've always loved horses. My one cousin actually worked on, uh, horse farms, really, like, I
Mhm.
wouldn't say ranches necessarily, maybe ranch, I don't know, but she worked a lot with horses and stuff. Um and that really opened my eyes up to the beauty and the power of those animals. And then I started learning more about other types of cattle, and then we got this opportunity to work with Snowcrest and work with Turner Enterprises. And I try not to say their name too much and too often because of like the agreements that we have and stuff. But they are just I can't say enough about that organization, what they're trying to do with regenerative ranching and like trying to, bring back, keeping the land, you know, protecting the land. It's really land
Mhm.
conservation. So you're healing the land and you're healing. And I told them, I was like, you're healing the land and now you're helping us heal vets, like,
Yeah.
and first responders. Like there's a real value there. And it's so powerful. It's real stuff. And Ray
Yeah.
Boughton just said, nice hats. Ray Boughton was with us out in Montana last year. Recon Marine, really good guy. Hell yeah, Ray. You know it, baby.
Hell yeah,
He's a
brother.
yeah, he's a frequent he's frequently on here with us actually. I think he's on at least like once a month, if not once every other month. So
Okay.
he's also a retreat leader and he's helped us lead retreats before. He's a really great guy. He's actually helped me train over 600 active duty and National Guard, Air Force, Army, and a couple Marines thrown in there and stuff. So in resilience and everything through his story. So it's pretty cool.
Ah, cool. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is cool. Anyway, so yeah, man, it's really awesome to be able to have that experience of like learning about regenerative ranching and, learn about, the bison and how important the bison were to that landscape and how much these guys, these cowboys, because they're cowboys, right? Like at the end of the
Yeah.
day, these dudes are, they're cowboys and how much they love the animals and they take care of yes, the animals end up becoming meat and food for us to eat, but dude, they love taking care of them. They love and respect those animals so much.
Yeah, it's like I said to Billy, I was like, "These animals are your kids." You see them from the time they're born till, you know, y
They
your life.
provide. That's
Yeah.
right, until they provide.
So, I mean, it just my hat's off to them and, created great relationships. I actually texted Billy the other day and, I sent him a, funny picture of my cat, and I was like, "Here, show this to Kate." And,
Cool.
I won't say what it was, but, they thought it was hilarious.
That's funny. So tell us about you, man. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? I know we're like 25, 26 minutes, 27 minutes into this thing, but give us a little bit of background on you and we'll start to talk about you.
Okay. Yeah, so grew up here in Massachusetts. Joined the Marine Corps right out of high school. Joined in 2008. Um, Ended up in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, with 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines. I was a infantryman. Loved it. Had some ups and downs. Got into a little trouble, and then I get deployed in 2010. Part of Obama's 30,000 troops to Afghanistan, and had to go to a place called Marjar, Afghanistan, and clear it out with the Taliban. It was a massive stronghold and where they got their most of the opium in Helmand Province.
Hmm.
And we went through a lot of hardship out there. Um, you know, Learning the Taliban. It's like the first time we got shot at, we're like, we are we getting shot at right now? Like, holy fuck. It just kind of like hits you.
Yeah.
And so, it was a rough deployment, lost several people on that deployment, lots of guys wounded. We just, kept pushing and pushing. And our platoon, we were tired in the end. We were waiting for that relief. And, you know, when we got home, it's going from chaos to, leave. It's kind of surreal, because you were kind of stuck out there. In 2011 into 12, we went back to the same area and there wasn't shit going on. It was the
Right.
weirdest fucking thing. We did a 9-month turnaround and went back. Um, and yeah, got out 2012. It was pretty, yeah, that's when life technically started.
What do you mean by that?
Dude, it's like I say this thing like when you go into the military at 18 and you get out and you're like 21, 22 years old, you're still 18. Everybody else is grown up, graduating college, doing all this stuff, and you're just kind of getting your life started. And so, yeah, I was just kind of stuck as a party animal, having fun, not really giving a fuck of the consequences that were out there. And yeah, I just started off on a shitty path that I chose.
Hmm. Uh, and what do you mean by shitty path? Like you
Couldn't
didn't
hold a
like being a Marine or what is that?
No, I love the fact that I was a Marine. You know, I had this massive ego, you know, and of being a Marine, being deployed, being in firefights, being blown up, everything. And you know, so this ego followed me out of the Marine Corps, and it made me have a really hard time holding jobs. I was bouncing around jobs like crazy. I just, you know, showing up to work drunk, just arguing with the bosses, couldn't really I don't know, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy at all, and, you know, I just couldn't let go of who I was.
Hmm. I have a question for you. I was thinking about this literally last night after my dog woke me up. I started thinking about, man, I wonder if maturity level is one of the big things that needs to get talked about when it comes to like mental health and, the difference between enlisted and officers and why officers might have less issues when they get out of the military. Is it because of the maturity level? Like, is it because like the responsibility level between the two? What do you think of that line of thinking?
Absolutely, you know, the officers, man, you know, because they went to school, you know, they just kinda experienced, they just earned their degree, and, you know, sometimes I don't know why they chose to go in the military, but they did, and, but they take that role to lead Marines or soldiers, airmen, whatever the fuck they lead, and, they they carry a lot of stuff. They're taking the responsibility that enlisted can't really do. But the enlisted guys, we have, you know, we have the knowledge. You know, we could say, "Sir, this worked. This doesn't work. Stop reading your book." You
Right.
know, um, but yeah, with the maturity of, you know, enlisted guys getting out, absolutely, dude, we struggle. And when these officers get out, because most officers, they stay in a long time, man,
Yeah, they do.
and they have a great career path because it is provided to them more than it is to enlisted, I think.
Mm,
And I can probably back that up with some stuff that I found out about, you know, some government companies and, you know, but like there's all these career paths that these guys get offered. And, you know, it's like when I got out, I had no clue until I started meeting people and them telling me that work at these companies because they were enlisted in the Air Force and now they're working for a government agency, and, you know, they had to earn their spot pretty much.
interesting.
That
So you think it comes down to you actually focused on the education piece. You think that college plays a part in maturity?
in a way, yes, because I know, like, in an infantry unit, you know, you're just there to fuck shit up, have a good time, make friends, beat the shit out of each other, but I truly believe with officers, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with officers 'cause I just I could see eye to eye with them, but I can't. But they're the ones that decided to go to school. Most of us joined the military at 18 to run away.
Hmm. Do you think it has a do you think it might be take education out of it? Do you think it might also be just they have to lead at such a young age, like a large group of men?
I think so, yeah, you know, they gotta force themselves in that maturity, like, "Okay, I'm responsible for 40 something guys, and I they just have they gotta step up, make the call they gotta make the tough calls." So, you know, it's like, you know, I know with my lieutenant, the day after, a team leader was killed in our platoon, I know he didn't wanna have to go back to that same spot because he knew we would get shot at. Sure enough, we go back to the same spot and we get shot at, you know, but he has to make that call, you know, and it's a chance.
That's tough. So you lost a platoon leader because of a decision of an officer?
I wouldn't say it was because of his decision, but you know, we we knew what we were getting into, you know, especially because of the contact that a squad received the day before in this general area, and we didn't know there was going to be a fucking IED there, you know. So
Right.
it's it it my platoon commander that I had in 2010. I fucking hated this guy. I just recently, made amends with him back last year, and I thanked him, and I simply said thank you for bringing me home. So, like, I mean, I hated that guy all these years, and and then I just realized one day, like, holy fuck. I think it was more convincing for my team leader of what they did for us, and then just gave me the bigger picture, like, dude, he brought you home. So,
What exactly did you hate him for?
oh, he was just such a fucking dickhead, man. He and I mean, if he ever watches this, he's gonna be saying "fucking gray." But no, him and I never saw eye to eye on anything. I always, I was kind of like that belligerent kid in the platoon. Like, oh, Gray, let's go do this. I'm like, yeah, fuck that. I ain't doing that shit. Yes, sir, I'll do it. And I, whenever he told me to do something, I never gave it 100%. But when my platoon sergeant told me to do something, I give it 100%. Um, so it's just, but all those years, I felt like he was just chasing ribbons, you know, and yeah, because that's sometimes what you think with these officers. They're trying to write their own fucking memoir or write a book or whatever.
You get stuck in that headspace thinking that they're self-serving when then you realize later it's like they made really tough decisions, to help get me and my boys home.
Yeah. Yep. And they did. They brought us home, dude, and I'm so grateful for that. I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, what an interesting disconnect that is. I feel like any type of leadership, if you're doing it right, you're not always going to make everyone happy, but you have to make the right decisions for whatever it might be, like the company, the organization, or the platoon, right? For your unit, to make sure that you're giving them the best opportunities to succeed and still achieve what the mission is supposed to be achieving.
Mhm. And the sad thing is, even though I hated that man, he was just doing what he was told. So,
Right.
so I don't know, it's like one of those things. It's like no matter what, with whatever leadership you have, especially at work, wherever you are, you're always going to have your own criteria and and I was young, I didn't know what my criteria was. And it's like somebody could say, "Hey, you're supposed to hate that guy." All right, I'll hate that guy. I'm fine with that.
Hmm. It's interesting. Like I think about that a lot where it's like people they get caught up in this mindset of like, oh, this person doesn't care about me or this or that. And they just make assumptions and they think that the person's selfish or whatever it might be. And you don't see the bigger picture that they're trying to aim for or trying to get to. And it creates this weird resentment. It creates a resentment almost feedback loop.
Hmm.
And, and a lot of I feel like I've noticed a lot of enlisted men get stuck in that negative feedback loop and they can't get themselves out of it even when they get out of the military, and then everyone becomes an enemy after that. And it's like this, it's a difficult thing to get your mind out of because that might mean that you're still stuck in survival mode and you're trying to consistently just survive and you can't trust anybody and everybody's an enemy and all these people are against you and your
Yeah,
ideas are the right ones and you're because you're trying to stay alive,
yeah,
like that's a challenge to try to break people out of that. It's like, hey man, listen, you can be accountable for who you are, but if you're working for someone else or if you're doing something for another organization, you have to recognize that there's a bigger picture at play and people can try to listen to you, but they're not always going to be able to implement your ideas or what you're trying to do,
hmm,
because it just doesn't exactly work at that time with what's happening,
yeah,
and then it's like, oh, now I'm under attack again, and you feel that it's that fight or flight, and you're trying to control that,
yep,
have
yeah.
response, if you will.
And and it was my platoon commander. Inside of our patrol base, he took a can of spray paint and wrote it right above the door as you go out on patrol or to post or whatever. complacency kills,
dude.
and it's something that always fucking that's I remember the way it was written, I remember everything, you know?
Yep.
So, and that's you
Complacency
know
does kill, dude, everywhere too.
mhm, and you kinda carry that with you know? You keep saying, like or you say to people, "Complacency kills."
Yep.
Like, so
You know, it's funny, I'm even living in that right now. I feel so much momentum with Project Refit and, you know, I always push. I'm always trying to push people to the next level with Project Refit. It's really difficult for me. One of the things that's super important about running an organization or running a business or anything is relationships. And
mhm,
I know that that's super important. And that's the same thing with like marriages and anything really. The success in life is being able to work well with others and complacency is sometimes where it's like you're done building relationships and you just stop. And
yeah,
what that does, like that'll stop your momentum of trying to help other people. And that's a bad thing. Like that's something to get yourself out of. Like you got to keep on, you got to put the effort in. And it's hard sometimes because, you know, especially being a leader of an organization that helps out veterans and first responders, like for me, like it's difficult because I'm not, you know, like I'm a
mhm,
civilian. And when I'm saying these things to guys like, hey, this is, you know, this is a part of the path and the plan, guys get thrown off because like, well, what about my idea? And I'm doing this and I think this is right. And it's like, dude, that's not healthy. Like that's not a healthy way. Like we can't allow drugs, we can't allow marijuana, we can't allow these things on our retreats. We have to get guys in a sober headspace and challenge them in that sober headspace to let these guys get clear thoughts, you know?
mhm,
And that's something that was a challenge in the beginning to kind of push that narrative and to keep it alive. And some guys they just don't agree with it. They're like, no, we got to allow some people to drink, we got to allow some people to smoke weed and all this other stuff. It's like we tried out allowing the weed thing, but we found out, hey man, that's not good. That's I don't
yeah,
give a shit if it's like if you are prescribed it, you have to come to this retreat sober and you got to be you can't have escapism. You can't be escaping from your own thoughts and getting into a different place. Well, it helps me relax and helps me get rid of my anxiety. You have to learn how to get rid of your anxiety on your own. Like you have
mhm,
to learn ways to think sober and clear and to ride out your anxiety and learn how to control it and learn how to get through it. You know, like
it's
that
good.
is yeah, it is. It's also a challenge. And you know, and it's people listening to this right now, or people might listen to it in the future might be like, guys, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, whatever. Yes, I do, dude. Like, absolutely. Like, you have to learn how to live a sober life and you got to be present. You have to learn how to be present in moments. You know, like
Yep,
abusing anything that takes you away from reality is not good for you. It's just
yeah,
not.
yeah, it's like I like, I know, like, getting out of the military, like, the heavy drinking and all that up until I fucked up and got caught, you know? Dealing with reality and, not coming home, getting fucking shit-faced or chilling with the guys after work, drinking and all that shit, it gets you to understand more, about yourself. You get to know what your limits are
Big time.
when you are not inebriated. And
Hmm.
you don't hide from your issues anymore. You're starting to deal with them. And that's where I say the problem solving for me
Yes,
is what's been helping me get through everything. It's given me this moment of clarity and to understand who I am, because I am writing my path now,
that's
you
right.
know, and
You're
guys,
taking an active role in writing your story.
yes, yeah. And guys, it's like and dude, the second they go sober or get away from drugs or whatever it is, they realize who the fuck they are,
Yep.
and you make sacrifices because you gr- grow away from those people that enabled those addictions, and it hurts. It really fucking hurts, man.
Yes, it does.
I cannot say all the contact I've lost with people from going sober. You know, like I don't get a simple invite anymore to go out. It's like I'll still go to breweries, I'll still go hang out with people that are smoking pot, but I'm not gonna partake in any of that because it's just not who I am.
Yep.
So, and, you know, veterans, they're afraid of reality.
Dude, there's a great question that just came through. And I'm going to ask it to you. So it says, did you live as though you were on leave until the leave lasted way too long? The reason why I love this question is because it goes back to that metaphor that I brought up to you guys in that book, about Odysseus and how he
Mhm.
was actually home for 10 years instead of, like, the story is him, he was on his way home, but his actual journey home was he was home the whole time. So, uh, did you live as though you were on leave until the leave lasted way too long?
Um, I'd say absolutely.
Mm,
It from getting out to now, it was probably more of like, let's what's the word I'm looking? It's like it wasn't real until I got sober. So I'd say that would be like my leave, you know. I had all this fun for all these years and never didn't want to grow up,
mm,
accept things, but I had to get in trouble to learn and say, "Okay, it's time to unfuck myself."
yep.
Hope that answered that.
Yeah, I actually just got done writing a blog the other day about something I've really been taking notice to is this idea and concept of growing up and how a lot I feel like too many individuals, not just military guys, not just first responders, but just people in general, they're not growing up and accepting responsibility and discipline for the freedom that it can actually provide you.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a whole ass fucking article that I wrote, whole blog I wrote on the idea of growing up and taking ownership of your civilian life. Like that is so crucial.
You have to, man, you know, because 'cause you're just gonna suffer.
Yeah. This is actually it right here. I'm not going to read it all, but if anybody wants to go to our website, projectrefit.us/blog, um, you can go and you can find it. It's literally titled "Grow Up, Take Ownership of Civilian Life." And no, it's not like we're coming at you in the article. I'm not coming at you in the article. I'm not putting you down. I'm just putting out a real truth in the world, which is like, hey, you have to learn to get to a point where you're growing up and you're taking ownership of your life.
Mhm.
And yes, I know it's Matt Cahill. I got you, Matt. You're a stud. Actually, Matt, I have a ton of respect for Matt. Cool story about him, and something I really respect about the veteran culture and the veterans in general is, um, if you if you are a person that is doing right and you're trying to do your best and doing good, and other people end up like thinking like, oh, what's this guy got or whatever, and they talk or whatever, and they say shit to you or behind your back. Some don't, like a lot of civilians don't step up and apologize if they're wrong about something. This
Mhm.
motherfucker came out to one of our local fireside chats. Literally, I didn't even know it was happening. Said to me right to my fucking face in front of a bunch of people, "I'm sorry." Right to me. I was like,
Mhm.
"Damn, bro!" Like, mad respect to you, dude. Like I have so much fucking respect for him. And you know what? I actually expect that from a lot of veterans. Like I expect that kind of mentality because it's like that is a real fucking man, like that
Mhm.
a dude that can step up and say that right to your face and fucking tell you that he has respect for you and like he was wrong and shit. Like damn, like I know I can trust that dude. If I ask him for a question or help or anything like that, like I know he'd give me the real shit.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking I yes, Matt, you're the man. I know who you are, brother. I was actually at a ceremony at something called oh shit. What is it called? It's in Philly, Matt, where we both got like grants and awards and stuff like that at it. Fuck, man. I forget the name of it, but he was there too and shit. And he got it for his Green Star Families of America that he's starting, where, trying to get benefits for families of those who've suffered from, their loved one passing away via suicide.
Mhm.
And, the war that is happening, right? Like the real war of suicide that's happening here on our homeland. And we got to fight back against that shit. Um, but anyway, so that's where he and I really connected. And then, we stayed in touch after that. And then he came out to that fire and said that shit. And I was like, damn, that motherfucker, he's a real dude. He's a real dude, man. Like that's real fucking, that's brave is what
Yeah.
that is. So, and
Yep.
exactly, bro, too much
Yep.
talk, not enough action. I completely agree with that. I'm all about action, dude. I'm a man of my fucking word. And I think you recognize that, which is why you came out and said that shit. So, it's actually something Jeff here came out to ask me right to my face in person. He was like, why are you doing this? who the fuck are you? Right? Like
Yeah.
it's like that whole thing. And it's like, this is why I'm doing this. I want to be a
Yeah.
part of the fight. I want to help out. Like I genuinely do. And I love it.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for the longevity, especially of men's mental health, and like stop shaming men for not saying much and for trying to
I know.
be a calm presence. Like that's what we're supposed to be. And I think there's too much shaming in that realm of men who try to do that. But it's also understand Union League. That's where it was. That's right. It was at the Union League. Thank you. Um, but yeah, then on the other side, it's like, but how does the man take ownership of his life to make himself better? And like, who is he
Mhm.
surrounding himself with to improve?
Yeah.
And that's where you lose friends. That's where you lose contacts with people. And that's something that you recognize is happening in your life, right, Jeff? So just trying
Yeah.
to find good people you can surround yourself with, who you can still hang out with and have connection to community with.
Yeah, dude, and it sucks because you try to force yourself to be the old you when you're not, when you're happier with the new you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it's like I said, I challenge myself going to breweries just to hang out with friends.
I hate that.
So,
I
you know,
hate that, dude.
and like I don't mind it, I always bring in like my own energy drink or whatever, but
Yeah.
like, I get bored.
Yeah. Like you want to go do something else.
Yeah. So,
Mm,
and that's the thing is like I say with the problem solving, there's a problem sometimes and you got to solve it. And,
yeah.
going back to what Matt was saying, with the, taking action, a lot of action needs to happen with yourself. You could talk all this talk, like say, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Just fucking do it.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and I mean, I'm taking action on myself. And, I've done it. Am I 100% yet? I don't know if I'll ever be
You never
100%,
will be.
but I'm working my way to it.
That's right.
So,
It's supposed to be a forever journey. And by the way, let me explain to you why I fucking hate that. Like, oh, I'm going to challenge myself at a brewery. I had a kid, he's a young guy who he had alcohol in his dorm. He was an active duty airman at the time. And he was sitting
mhm,
down talking to Dan and I on base, and he's like, yeah, I still have like, bottles up and I have it there for a challenge and like blah blah. I was like, why the fuck you're lying? That's not true, dude. That's temptation. Get
yeah,
rid of that shit. If you don't want to drink anymore, get rid of it. Like, don't put yourself in situations where you can fuck up. You're not giving yourself a fighting chance. Like so that's when I hear that, that's immediately what I think of. And you might not agree. That's fine.
mhm.
But I don't know. Why invite the demon in? Why invite the demon in?
So, like, I mean, I did a year of AA and all that stuff, and like, I learned some pretty valuable things in AA.
It's cool.
And one thing they always taught you in AA is always give yourself an out. It's like whenever I go to like a house party now or whatever, dude, I'm not parking in the driveway. I'm parking down the road, so I'm not blocked in. You
Yeah.
know, and like if I'm starting to feel uncomfortable or whatever, like I'll tell my wife or whoever, it's like, dude, I'm gonna take off. I want to go to bed. You know,
Yeah.
like that's when, it starts to get like the stress of it. And it's like I said, it's like I like living on the edge. I like taking a risk, but I know with my own self motivation, my self love, and all that shit, I'm not gonna
Mhm.
fucking pick up a can of beer. I mean, I have had some close calls, where times where I just, as vets, we get into this mindset of saying, "Fuck it," you know, and just let the chaos happen, let everything just come crashing down, and I just can't do that again,
Mhm.
because I know what I'm gonna lose. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you're beginning to value other things more. The way I put it to actually one of the guys that was out on that retreat, to finally get that person to be like, all right, I'm an alcoholic. Like I was like,
mhm,
dude, you're worshiping other things. You're not worshiping the right, like you're worshiping like alcohol, drugs, and sex. Like you're focused totally on that. And it becomes this superseding thing that you're serving, and
yeah,
and that's not it. That's not healthy. Like you can't serve anything else other than what's healthy for you, the people that you care about, that you love, your local community. There's more mission for yourself outside of the military and outside of alcohol, let's say, you
Yeah.
know?
I hate the fact that it takes so long after getting out of the military to finally grow up and get off a
Yeah.
leave, you know? Um, and that's the thing with a lot of us. They just get stuck, and you try to figure out how to get them unstuck.
Yeah. That is tough. That is very tough. I actually never really thought of it that way where it's like the leave mentality. I actually love that Cahill brought that up. That
Mhm,
I think that's a great question and a great way to put it. Like, hey, did you feel like you were on leave the whole time? Like that's
mhm.
it's like you're still partying, you're still just going at it. And he said, yeah,
Exactly.
because you're taking it to extremes because you need that adrenaline rush. It's like you're addicted to the adrenaline rush. You want to feel that. You want to feel alive. It makes you feel alive to get the jitters and like to control that jitter and everything. Like that is
Veterans love
Mhm. I
chaos.
think I think a lot of men do in general, actually. I think that's something that we feel alive and like it's our purpose to control that chaos, and I feel like it gets amplified when
Mhm,
you're serving because you actually get to experience true chaos, real chaos,
mhm.
right? Like life
Yeah,
and death type shit. Because I think about guys, and I'm not comparing this, by the way, but I think about I'm not comparing what I'm about to say to a veteran, but um, at all. So, like, I think
yeah.
about the extreme sports, right? Like snowboarding and like, the guys that are doing that and like, rally car racing and all and the Isle of Man motorcycle racing going 250 miles an hour. You're basically you're living between life and death, in those moments. And
Yeah.
like, it's this extreme adrenaline rush where you feel so alive and free and floating as you're going, and the same thing in like jujitsu and fighting, and you just feel you're conquering something, and
Mhm,
like those are those physical challenges. You're proving to yourself who you are, and that is
mhm.
something that you proved it. You've done it, like you made it, bud. Like you fucking did it. So what else
Yeah,
can you do other than just constantly chasing that adrenaline or constantly chasing that high, you know?
yeah. I think now, like, with us, we where I've chased that adrenaline, sometimes I'll do, like, like, go on a swing over a 1,000-foot canyon and stuff like that, but, like, I think now we wanna help those veterans, kinda chase that adrenaline, but do it
Hmm.
safely, and I think that's kinda, like, where my goal's at, it's like, "Dude, I'm there with you," but we're not gonna get out of
Right.
hand, it's like, I'm not gonna be a fucking give you baby steps,
Yeah.
So it's like, "You're grown up, fucking grow up."
Yeah. That's such a
So
powerful thing to say, and a lot of people could take that, and a lot of vets could take that as a negative, especially if they know inside of
mhm,
their hearts that they're not growing up and taking on responsibility and not trying to bring discipline back into their life, and they can feel attacked by that
yeah,
statement. Like, you gotta grow up. You know, I
mhm,
I did say that to a guy once, very directly because he needed to hear it, and he took it. He took it. It hurt him a little bit, and then he took it and he ran with it for months, and then he fell off sadly. And he's the one guy that I'm actually worried about. He's the one guy that came through Project Refit out of the literal thousands and the hundreds that came on retreats with us, and it's gotten to a point, you know, for him where it's like scary for his family and stuff, and for us too. And I'm trying to reach him, and it's hard to reach that guy. And I really like him a lot. He's a really good dude. Like he hosted a
mhm,
retreat and shit. Um, he was doing so well, and then he just fell off, and it breaks my fucking heart. Um,
mm,
but yeah, it's hard, and that's interesting to say. Cahill, he said civilian parties are boring and fake. Um, Interesting about the fake thing. As I've been hanging out with a lot of veterans and even first responders, especially police officers, uh, that mentality of fake, I have recognized that. And it's something I struggle with now where I'm like, man, I just want to be around some real fucking people, like talking about the real shit. Like, how can we improve ourselves and get better? And instead of just talking about what I'm not having real fucking conversations with you. Like that's hard.
Mhm.
It's really hard. I've never actually vibed with people that aren't real and aren't having real conversations. I've never vibed with them. Never really connected. If I should, for a better term, instead of vibe, like I never connected with people who are fake. You know,
Yeah, we know how to make parties fucking fun. You could and, back to my drinking days, man, like, dude, we fucking loved every second of it being there, and then, after the fact, you either got a broken hand or something's fucked up, and you're puking, shitting, fucking just
having a bad time the next day.
Oh, yeah.
I actually remember when I was in college. I was drinking or whatever. Next day, I felt like shit. One of my buddies walked up to me and was, "Go, just keep drinking, man. It'll heal you. It'll cure your hangover." And my brain immediately in that moment was like, "And that's how you become an alcoholic."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Fuck no, dude. I'm not gonna bitch out. I'm gonna take my decision and I'm gonna ride this shit out." Like I decided to get fucking drunk and I'm hungover. I feel like shit and I'm gonna ride it out. Like I'm gonna feel better. I'm not gonna just
Mhm.
like avoid the pain.
Yeah.
And boom, then was beginning that time of me recognizing like, oh, that's how life is. That's
Yeah.
that's why the slogan I loved, I the E equals MC squared of that, really, of like the whole culmination of Refit is literally pain and suffering is the ink to the pen that writes a story of our lives.
Mhm.
Like that's everything. I have it on the back of a coin. I don't know if it's going to focus, but I have it on the back of this coin now. That was
Yeah.
given to me by Rocco a couple of months ago here live on this. He calls it the Commander's coin for Refit, and he gave it to me, and I have three left.
Nice.
Um, and I need to get more made up because I really like that a lot that it's on there. But it's everything, dude. That's the ethos of what refit is. Like we have to take our pain and our suffering and make it into something because it's our opportunity to find meaning.
Mm.
Like it's
Yeah.
good that you're having struggles. Now pass it on, learn how to
Yeah.
get through it, find the light, and then tell other people how to get there. It's the most valuable thing you can do for yourself and for others.
That's the thing, like, but I like, because I've had guys come up to me, trying to learn. They they wanna quit drinking, and I flat out tell these guys, like, "If you wanna quit drinking, then fucking do it. Don't dance around it." And I always tell them, "Don't waste my fucking time because
Yeah.
I know you're just gonna pick back up." And, the 3 people that I helped out, they're still drinking. So it's like, I'm not gonna put the effort that I put into my sobriety into helping you stop drinking. And you just wanna give back a little bit.
Because you want to fight.
Yeah.
It's a fight.
Yeah.
The way we look at it here, dude, is it's a real war that's happening, and there's
Mhm.
people who really die.
Yeah.
Like I lost he was a buddy of mine. He was a vet and he was actually technically active and killed himself. He
Mhm.
never took me up on my offers like, dude, go out on a retreat. Please go out on a retreat with us. Like it'll change your fucking life, dude. Like just come on a retreat with us. And I tried helping him and I kept him, extended his life a little bit. And there was one time like a year and a half ago. Actually, one of my best friends, his name is Kyle Falzone. Uh, he saw this guy he was a friend of ours. He was a part of my friend group, and he was in a bar parking lot, and he was drunk as shit. The guy that I'm talking
Mhm.
about, and Kyle hit me up. He's like, "Bro, he needs our help. Like, we need like what the fuck do we need to do?" I was like, "Take him to your mom's house," because he was near his mom's place, and I was like, "Take him to your mom's house." Get them in the backyard. I'm on my way over right now with the fucking fire pit, wood, and water. And I drove over. It's the we show up mentality. Brought basically the mobile base with me, got him in the backyard, set everything up, and talked to him for hours. And we were like, dude, you have a problem with drinking, man. Drinking ended up being the thing that aided him in his taking his own life.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Like we lost one in the fight, and we really tried our best, and it sucks that it didn't happen, but we kept him alive for a while, we were able to extend his life. And then he told me he was going away to uh, a new duty station out in Lake Michigan. And I literally, if I didn't say this, I would feel worse about myself than I do now. And I don't blame myself for anything. I did my best with him. All of us did. And I literally said to him, I was like, "Are you running away?"
Mhm.
Dude, that took him the fuck off his feet. He was like, and I was like, "Bro, please tell me the truth." And he's like, "No, but maybe, but no." He's like, I really want to go there and experience it." And I was like, "All right, that was a half truth, dude." I was like, "I'm stay in touch with me. I'm gonna try to get out there to visit you." And I never was able to,
Yeah.
because refit takes so much of my time, and like we have retreats to plan, guys to take out, people who really want to help themselves,
Mhm.
and we lost the battle, um, and that really sucked. And that it hits me hard because like the lack of a better analogy, but one that I think you'll understand, and every veteran on here will understand. It's like it's the way I view this is almost like I'm in the midst of it. I'm fighting. Like he's one of my guys. He was a part of my like platoon, if you will, right? And I
Mhm.
wanted to bring him home and I wanted to keep him home and alive and help him get better and better. And I lost him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and it wasn't necessarily any of a poor decision on my part or anything like that, but we lost him, and that fucks me up, dude. And not as much anymore because I'm able to get myself through those things, and I'm able to understand like it was his decision, it was his action and things, and I did everything I could. The only thing I can do is like tell his now widow and his child that he loved so much. It was actually his step kid. Like he loved him too a lot,
Yeah.
and tell them like, look, I'm here for you no matter what. And it hurts, dude. The ramifications of it. When you take your own life, dude, it doesn't leave the people that love you. It never will. Like it's never gonna leave me. I'm always gonna feel that pain, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And I wish he was here. I wish I could just hug him. Like he gave the best hugs. He was the fucking man. Like he was funny. He gave a fuck. He really loved a lot of people, and yeah,
You when I was flying home back from Montana, right, 12 hours of traveling. Um, I, because I was thinking about the trip and thinking about whenever I think, it's not like bad. I come up with pretty good ideas and, problem solving.
that's right.
And, back in the military, we had this thing called a QRF,
Hmm.
quick reaction force. And I see all these different groups out there called battle buddy response teams, but there is so many veteran organizations in this country. What
Yep.
if one member of each organization joined a massive countrywide QRF?
Yep.
Because that will cover everything, like, yeah, they have veteran crisis lines, but I hate to say, when a cop shows up to a veteran's house, it's going to make it 10 times worse,
Yep.
you know?
It can. Yeah.
And it's like if there was something that where every single organization could work together on. We all have one goal, right? Stop 22 a day. Well, why don't we all work together as, one massive thing, one person from each part of their groups or whatever, you cover twice the amount of distance. And like I was thinking about this, I'm like, how can we do this? Like, how could I come up with a proposal for this? And I don't know, you just I feel like we get more accomplished that way.
Yes. I also do recognize the the challenge in that too, though, because if you take so that's actually something that we're trying. Okay, so let me back up. I completely agree with the QRF thing. Like that is refit is actually trying to do that. That's the we show up mentality. That's what our mobile base is there for. We try to actually empower the everyday person to be like, hey, just show up for your buddy. We're trying to
Mhm.
spread that narrative of like, hey, you can just show up for your friend.
Yeah.
Like one of our co-founders, original co-founders, did that and proved that it works. His name is
Mhm.
Chris Carr. He'll never take fucking, he'll never take as much credit as he should for this. But what he did for the co-host of FML, actually, Rocco, is literally second to none. It is exactly what this organization was founded on and stood for. And he literally showed up to his fucking house, drug him outside, threw him in his car, and talked to him until the morning, and like brought him home and kept him
Mhm.
alive. And Rocco is one of our retreat leaders. He's a co-host on here now. He's doing great things. He's still around with his family, able to be a part of his kids' lives, all of it, right? And it's because a buddy of his showed up. I mean, we've done that multiple times for guys. Those individuals are still alive because of the efforts that we put in. Everybody can do that. You don't have to be a part of an organization to do that. You just
Yeah.
have to fucking show up for somebody. As soon as you create, here's actually my counter argument to why I feel like you shouldn't necessarily do it as an organization,
Mhm.
is because like, and it should just be a marketing campaign to just talk to each other. Because as soon as you put it into an organization, the organization is going to have to like get people certified and all this
Oh, yeah.
fucking bullshit.
True. Yep.
And then it creates these stupid bureaucratic fucking, things you have to go through. And then you get this weird thing in your head, like, oh, I'm a certified peer. I'm a certified this. I'm a certified that.
Yeah.
And you're better than everybody the fuck
We
else.
talked about that.
Dude, like, just go talk to your buddy, man. Like,
Yeah.
get it done. There's nothing wrong with the certifications and stuff, but there is this weird thing that happens with humans where you begin to think like I know more than you. And it's like,
Mhm.
stop doing that. You're actually doing more harm than good. And it's just talk to your friends. Just that is one of the biggest breakdowns in our community is people. We were talking to this guy on Stay Zero. I can't wait. It's a podcast. And I can't wait for it to fucking get released. And um, he actually brought up on that podcast. He's like, yeah, there was a point in time where my buddy was like, he was really struggling. And I literally said to myself, I'm not qualified for this. And then he realized later how fucking wrong that is. You
Yeah.
are you care about him, you love him, you're a part of his community, you are qualified. Talk to your buddy, listen to your
Mhm.
buddy, tell your buddy how much you love them. Let your buddy tell you about his issues or his problems or her problems or you know what I mean? Like let them talk to you and all you got to do is listen to them and
Yeah.
remind them that they are loved, that they do have value and all of that. And if they need any help, you can guide them to it. That's it, dude. Like we need to be a community again. We have this breakdown of community, and then when people are going through all those things and all those certifications and stuff, they begin to tell other people, "Oh, like you're not qualified to talk to that person," and it begins
Yeah.
this terrible feedback loop.
Yep.
Stop saying that. Stop it. Yes, yes. By the way, therapists have a place. Professionals have their place. Like they need to do their thing. They need it. There's a boundary. There's a wall. There's certain things they can't say that you as a friend or you as a family member or you as a brother can say to that person that they literally cannot.
Mhm.
So it takes a full community effort to fight this fight. And that's like the big thing that we're trying to push here.
It's like a guy I had on my podcast, he said, "Call 5 veterans a week." You know?
Takes a lot. By the way, that takes a lot of effort. There's actually a
Yep.
vision I have for an application that we're slowly building, where we call it the Radio Check app, and it's literally a Project Refit thing that we've been trying to get launched for fucking years. We've been trying to find somebody to build it for us. We have a 12-year-old genius actually that took it up. I'm mentoring her, and I brought on this guy Chris Smith, who he's local here to South Jersey. That's helping her guide her through the development of this application, where it's literally at the tap of a button. You can send a buddy check to your top 5 fire team members. You can send it to your best buds,
Mhm.
and it really creates that like making it easier to check in on each other. That's it. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's simple. You got to create something so you can't send a fucking Marine who's an infantryman into a war without a gun. We're sending people into this actual war that's happening with no fucking gun. Why don't
Yeah.
we give them the tools to be able to help each other out? Because of the professional boundary, because of the fucking legality bullshit, because of all the bureaucratic measures and making people feel like they're not qualified to talk to each other. It's a
Yeah.
lie.
Should put a SOS button on that app.
Yeah, it'll be in
Something
there.
simple like that.
Yeah, it'll be in there, but it's literally it's called the buddy check button and
Mhm.
then the talk button. The radio
Okay.
check button is you're sending out a mass message to your buddies, just checking in on 'em, whatever message you want to put in there, like how you bitches doing or like,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. And then there's another one that is just, hey, one of your guys from the fire team wants to talk to you, and it's
Yeah.
literally just hitting you up like, "Hey, I'll answer. What's up, dude?" And you're able to talk to them.
Yeah. I like that.
It's empowering the friend groups.
Yeah, exactly. It breaks through to people that are always on their fucking phones, and what happens when you're on your phone, you're normally stressing about something, being nosy or whatever.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, these phones, they fucking suck. They cause everything going on with us.
They do cause issues. That is real.
So,
I can agree with that. And I think that some of the issues, again, comes down to we're not empowering the individual voices enough. That's my
yeah,
personal belief that I will die on that, you know?
dude, we get such a strong voice, and guys just, I'll say it this way, need to find the fucking ball sack to speak up for themselves. You
Yes,
know,
dude.
I need help, and I got help. So, and like I said, I'm not 100%, but I'm working towards it.
Yep. I
I,
actually I agree with that so deeply. I was at an event called Cova like 2 years ago now, and I was talking about the idea and concept of you have to get brave. I call it getting brave, get a ball sack, whatever you want to say. You have to get brave. You have to talk to each other, dude. Like you got to recognize and realize that the hard thing to do is ask your buddy, "Are you running away? Are you
mhm,
just running away?"
yeah,
Like you got to let us know what's happening. You got to talk to the boys.
yeah, yeah, dude. It's like I saw a buddy of mine. He chimed in here, Terry Flogger. I served with him, and I don't know if he's still watching. I hope he is. But Flogger, I'll catch up with you soon, buddy.
Hmm.
Like that's the thing. I'm guilty for it. I don't check in enough with guys that I, served with, and I don't see them ever. The only time we see each other is at fucking funerals, unfortunately.
And that
So,
sucks.
yeah.
Would you ever be just curious? Would you ever be open to um, actually leading a retreat at some point and like bringing your buddies out and bringing your boys out?
I would love to do that, get the guys together. I've actually, um, when I was out in California for a retirement ceremony, I was talking to a guy, and I'm like, we need to do it, get together every year at the same fucking time in the same fucking place.
Yeah.
That way, guys will catch on and shit like that.
Yep.
And, I was stationed at Lejeune with all these guys, and I'm like, well, why don't I figure something out in Myrtle Beach, get this Airbnb for a week at a time, come through as you want, come say hi, do what you want, but, get together with the guys. It doesn't have to be the whole week. You can come for 2 days if you want.
Yep.
And, yeah, yeah, I've thought about doing something like that, and I do have some resources that I haven't tried reaching out to yet because I just haven't been able to focus my mind onto it yet.
Hmm.
Um, but it's something that it's got to be done. It just has to
Yes.
be done for us.
I actually I have a perfect location. We just partnered with these guys. Um, and it's called Patriot Point. It's in Maryland.
Mhm.
They are so open to support us in that, and they want us to do that. And I would welcome you to do that with us. Honestly, I think that would be fantastic, and we can lead the way in that. That's something Dan and I have talked about extensively. Is
Yeah,
having a retreat where we get the boys back together and we host a healing retreat for that unit or for that fire team or whatever it might be.
yeah, yeah. No, I like that. And
They've got 15
obviously
comfortable rooms too.
the guys, like I know with, I've got to be honest. I don't know how any of my guys are doing.
Right.
I don't know. And I know some guys do struggle with the alcoholism, and I know some of them. When we all get together, you drink. I
Yeah.
don't drink, but when you get together, you drink because
Yeah.
that's what you do. Because you're talking about memories and you're bringing up emotions and you drink. And I'm not saying that my guys would not do that, but I think there's still a lot of them are still on the leave status. There are some guys making moves. but yeah, they just I don't know. I try calling guys that I just get voicemail.
Yep.
So,
So I have a book. Um, I'm actually going to share it. Um, I'm gonna share my screen in just a second. It's by Dr. Jonathan Shea because it's been brought up so many fucking times. It's called Odysseus in America: Combat Trauma and the Trials of Homecoming.
mhm.
Let me share it here. It's on Amazon. This is what it looks like. The cover of the book.
Okay.
So Dr. Jonathan Shea, I believe he's actually, if I'm remembering properly, he's a Vietnam vet. Yep, Vietnam. Um, it's the whole thing. Yep, it's a metaphor for how Odysseus was home the entire time.
Mhm.
It's such a
Mm.
powerful book, dude. So eye opening, and it changed my outlook and view even a little bit. Like even though I've always had like the thoughts of like these guys are still fucking in, but it was never put so beautifully. And what it did help me recognize, because something I'm literally obsessed with is um, I'm obsessed with metaphors and the past. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with the guys that came before us. Like who were the people that lived for thousands of years before us? I have The Art of War, one of my favorite books up there because it teaches me so much about life, teaches me so much about like business, even and running it because business is war in many ways and the strategies you have to implement. And I have to lead people and things like that, right?
Mhm.
And like one of the pieces I got out of that was look bigger. If you're small, look big. And
Yeah.
Project Refit, when people come across at the website and everything, like, oh shit, this is a really well funded organization. Like these guys are huge. In reality, we're not. We're very small. We don't have a lot of funding. We're struggling bad financially, but we still do everything we can to help people out because that's what it's about. And we've helped out so many on such a small budget. And it's just there has to be so much to get done. But we look big, but we're not, because we don't want to look weak to the guy coming out because we have to be strong. We have to be big. We have to help you out. And you have to present yourself in a strong way so that the people can actually listen to you. And
Mhm.
I think that's something that actually helps us out a lot. And, it's just, it's all part of it. It's all part of the game, the game of life. And when you're in a battle, when you're in a real war and you look at it the way we do with suicide, you have to make sure you're presenting the best strategy you can so you can actually succeed. And
Yeah.
those metaphors and those things, those teachings that come from stoicism, that come from the Greek tragedy of the Odyssey, with Odysseus, like there's a reason for it. There's a
Mhm.
teaching in it. And it's a big, big deal. Like we have to really pay attention to the guys that came before us and made it through and stayed alive.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, all those Vietnam guys, man. I mean, their backs were up against the wall, fucking coming home from Vietnam, and I can't imagine the emotions. I mean, a lot of them drank away their emotions, but
Big
dude,
time.
they're still here.
Mm. Yeah, some of them are. I wish,
So,
I do wish that there was and I'm really, one thing that I'm noticing our generation is doing, the millennials, as much as people like to talk shit on us, we are very aware of, mental health issues and problems. And the one thing that I think most people need to get better at is like stop talking about your fucking problems and do
mhm,
something about it. Yes, you have ADHD. Yes, you might be on the spectrum. Yes, you might have like, PTSD. Yes, you might have these traumas. How are you operating better? You can't just
yeah,
expect the world to fucking morph to you. You can't. You
yeah,
have to learn to get better. You have to learn to be better. Like that is that's my gripe with a lot of
yeah,
this mental health stuff is like people use it as a crutch and they become victims. It's like stop being a victim. Look at it as an opportunity to be better.
mhm,
And that's something a lot of people don't like to hear, like they don't like to hear that shit. And that's okay. I'm gonna say it anyway. Um, and and I think that veterans have the opportunity to be a great fucking beacon of light because no matter what, a warrior is always a veteran is always going to be held in a high regard and people are going to look up to you.
Yep.
It's just what it is. And you can't abuse that power. You can't think, oh, you have to serve me. I was a veteran.
Yeah.
Like, no, 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 no. We definitely need to, you definitely need help. You definitely need to be welcomed home and all that stuff. But you also have value. You
Mhm.
also still have value and you can give back too, you know?
So I have this opinion of mine, and
Tell it.
I okay, as I always say, being a veteran and veterans, we suck. We kind we kind of like things on our own time, where always have our backs against the wall, and we think we are owed something. Like people with the VA,
Mm,
they get very impatient waiting for the VA stuff because we want it fucking now. That's what we know. We want it now. It's our anxiety because it's the whole hurry up and wait game, in the military. Hurry up and wait. It's like,
yeah.
what the fuck am I doing? Can we get the shit rolling?
Yeah.
And, guys, ah, people, I have a lot of people disagree with me on this a lot, but we signed up for it. We volunteered to join the fucking military.
Yeah.
I mean, in all
It was your
technicality,
decision.
yeah,
Accountability.
we served our country honorably. We did what we had to do,
Hell
but
yeah.
nobody held a gun to our head and made us go into the fucking military.
That's true too.
So I think that as vets, we just got to have a little more patience with ourselves.
Yep.
And
Grace.
we don't, we, people give us discounts because it's the right thing to do. We
Agreed.
don't, we, do we earn it? Yes. Are we owed it? No. So, and if more guys could think like that, have more patience with themselves, your world will be okay. Your story will be fine.
Yeah.
And it's the simple fact of putting your ego aside. That's really it.
Big time.
So,
Ego and pride. That's why I'm also I love to talk about psychedelics on here too. And it's something that I have grown to respect a lot. When I was younger, I bought into the narrative of like, oh, psychedelics are bad.
mhm,
Psychedelics are bad if you're using it wrong, right? If you're
yeah,
abusing them. If you're using it for therapeutic reasons to really grow and open your mind and heal your brain, they're great. I mean, it's great actually. And I think psychedelics can help a lot of guys out, like ketamine, for example. Ketamine based therapy. There's actually a bunch of studies getting done on ketamine where it's showing that it regrows pathways in your brain to reconnect, to allow your brain to think differently. And but if you're doing it all the time and you're using high doses and you're just getting fucking high and escaping reality, then it's not worth it, right? It's your stop doing that, stop abusing it. It's a medicine. Use it as a medicine, as a therapeutic medicine. There's other things like shrooms and DMT
yeah,
and these other ibogaine, ayahuasca. Like actually, ibogaine is one that I know. Joe Rogan podcast and Perry went on, Rick Perry and that other guy went on there and started talking about it. But I'm not saying it because they said it. This is a real medicine. It really works. It's non addictive. It helps people out, all that stuff. And it can, if you have opioid addiction or any addictions, it literally heals you.
mhm,
Why are we not using these things to the benefit that they can be? Right.
yeah,
To really heal yourself and recenter your mind, to recognize that you aren't the center of the world and you made your decisions. Like you need to take accountability for that stuff.
yeah.
Um, I just really believe that can change someone's life. I really do believe that psychedelics can be a pathway to changing your life if used properly and appropriately.
Yeah, it's like I told you at the fireside one night, I was like, I hate medications, man. I don't agree with them. I don't agree with how people rely on them.
SSRIs, right?
Yeah, and sometimes like you need them. It's like, believe it or not, when I got home to finally get healthy, I had to go get medication. I didn't
Sure.
want to, but I needed it. But and I never do that. I rarely ever take anything. And but it's just, yeah, the opioids and the pain pills and shit like that, and people are relying on it now, and that's the like I've refused every medication I was given from the VA. I went to the prescription place and picked it up, but no, I think I threw them out. That was like 8 years ago.
What did you
So
do? You've said that so many times. Give people a pathway that you used to get through the stuff that you got through.
Self-love?
Hell, hell yes. I don't want to laugh. That's real.
Yeah,
Take
yeah,
us through that journey of self love.
just realizing that you don't love yourself enough if you're hiding behind pills, booze, not accepting who you are, you're just hiding in the dark. It's unfortunate that I had to learn a lot of mistakes the hard way. Um, and dude, it was just this one YouTube video that I watched, and it was on Moda University or some shit like that, and it was Will Smith, and he talked about self-love, and I listened to that over and over and over again, and I got myself to understand it. And if with no self-love, there is no self-discipline.
That's
So,
right.
and that's what I've been pretty much how I'm living my life right now. So,
I love that. I so I bring up the conversations that Ray Boughton and I have a lot. And Ray and I spoke about it. It was actually a whole group out in Montana. We started talking about self-love a lot. And he always kept on repeating it around the fire to different people. He was just like, love, love is the
yeah,
answer. And not in that hippy dippy way, not in the
yeah,
manipulative, shitty way. It's in the way of like, hey, you have to love yourself. You have to recognize you have value. You have to recognize you did your best. You have to recognize the things that you fucked up with and then still love yourself after the fact because your past is not your future. You can change your future, right? Like you can make the difference today. You have to make the decision. The love part is actually the decision part. The power
mhm,
of true decision. And something that you did for yourself too, I want to call this out and point this out. It's something I brought up around the fire briefly. I feel like I should have said more around that fire, uh, but I think we were doing really good of just getting people to talk. And when everybody left, there was a small group. I did get to talk to some of the guys individually, and I was able to get into this stuff on a deeper level because I love philosophy, and the philosophy behind the words you invite into your life.
mhm,
Is very powerful, right? So you can rewire your brain thinking to think positively. You just have to do it, right? Like
mhm,
that's you are stuck in a pattern of negative words and negative thoughts and negative things that you're bringing in. If you can actually make the decision that you're going to listen to that cheeky bullshit, right? One of my good friends was like, "Oh, you're just tricking yourself into like looking. I'm a realist." I'm like,
mhm,
"Motherfucker, I'm a realist." I'm also a realist in recognizing that yes, the world is evil. Yes, life is inherently suffering. Yes, life can suck terribly more than it's good. But I also know that it's up to me to decide to look for the good and to
mhm,
recognize the positions that I'm in, to recognize how I'm going through this stuff and how I'm in the fight, how I'm going to be better, right?
yeah,
It's not motivational. It's real. It's real. Invite the positive words into your life. It When you begin to bring in good words into your life, there's a reason why witches cast spells back in the day. I know I brought this up during the fire, but I love the analogy and the metaphor because that shit works. If you are going to listen to a witch or a wizard or whatever the fuck tell you bad things about yourself, like in those stories,
mhm,
people buy into it and they actually become a self fulfilling prophecy of negative and self destruction.
yeah,
You get to choose your heart. You get to choose the words you bring in your life and how you live. That's so important. It's powerful.
yeah. I'm gonna try and find this video that
I
changed
already found
completely.
it. I'm going to show everybody.
Self motivation. Well, yeah, self discipline, self love.
Yeah.
Will Smith. Yeah.
Is it this one or top or bottom?
Yes. Top one.
Oh, this
I
one?
can't hear it. Yeah.
But that's what it looks like for the people that want to go watch it. Um, Actually, I wonder if it's quick. It's 2 minutes. Let me see if I can share the audio from it as well, because I think it would bring some value. Uh, to share audio, share a tab instead. Um,
Yeah,
Let
you're the
me see.
tech guy.
Yeah, let me see if I can do that. Um, Let me know if you can hear this. Can you hear it?
Nope.
Damn. I wonder why it's not working. But anyway, that's what it is. That's the one.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
try and find the actual one. I'll send it
oh,
over, and
wait.
you can
Here we go. Ready?
Is the definition.
Can you hear it?
What's up,
Yep.
y'all? In the last post, we were talking about self discipline. So I wanted to go into that a little farther. I believe that self discipline is the definition of self love. That when you say that you love yourself, that means that you have behavior towards yourself that is loving. It's like you say to yourself, hey man, look, I know you want to eat that pizza and it'll be really good, but I can't let you eat that, man, because if you eat that pizza, you're going to feel like shit, and I love you too much to let you eat that. And I think the word discipline has kind of gotten a bad name. We think about it in terms of punishment. I'm not talking about discipline in that way. I'm talking about discipline in the sense that you forego immediate pleasure for the exchange of long-term self-respect. Self-love is when you say to yourself, ah, man, look, I know you and that girl got a real connection. I know y'all vibe, but that's your girl's cousin. So I love you too much to let you do that. Self love is, hey, look, I know you got a test on Monday, and I know you really want to go out with your friends. It's Saturday night, you want to go out, but if you fail that test, you're not going to feel good about yourself. I love you too much to let you go out tonight. Self discipline is self love. If you want to be happy, you have to love yourself, which means you have to discipline your behavior. The road to sustained happiness is through discipline.
It's real. That's
Yeah.
very, very real.
Yep.
Um,
And it was funny because so I came across so it wasn't that exact video, it was like a bunch of
okay.
compilation of videos put into one, and, it so when I got in trouble, if I got my CDL suspended and all this other shit, and in order to get my
Mhm.
CDL, I had to do some classes, online classes, and watching this whole video was one of them, and it just it caught me in a dark time. Fucking, had a blowout with my wife. I'm suspended from work
Mhm.
because I don't have a CDL, and I'm just, I took it in, and I just rewired my own brain to fucking love myself
That's it.
again. So
That's literally it.
yeah.
That is the pathway, man. Like, that's how you're gonna be able to beat depression. You can beat depression without medication, like, there's ways to do it. And
Hmm.
and I'm a firm believer in working out and things. And one thing I miss most is actually being able to do jujitsu all the time and wrestling and because my back is so like my leg and my back are so fucking bad that it just takes away from me. But one of the things I want to do this year is, and I think I'm pretty close to getting my body to the place where I can withstand a few months of training and maybe go to a competition. Because I really want to compete in jujitsu and I want to go to a tournament and I want to win. You know what I mean? Of course, I want to win, um,
Hell yeah.
but I have to do
Do it.
that in the next couple months. And uh, because that's all I got. I only have a couple of months every so often to be able to do that shit because that's all my body can allow. And
Hmm.
and the reason why I love jujitsu, I don't know why I just got in deep about wanting to win that shit and do that stuff. But the purpose of me bringing it up is
It's all
because
right.
there's different ways to get different chemical hits, right? So endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. Oxytocin's huge. Oxytocin is actually the bonding chemical, right? So when you hug somebody for 3 seconds or longer, you get a release of oxytocin. So that's when you hug your loved one, you're getting connected to that person. When you hug a brother and you hug him for a while, you're getting that release, and you love him. And the purpose of jujitsu is the reason why you get more bonded to a person you do jujitsu with than a person you lift with is because you're violently hugging that person for fucking an hour plus. And
Mhm.
you end up looking at these people almost immediately different. When you're in a gym and you go to a gym for the first time and you roll with these guys, you have the anxiety and shit. When you're done, you're like, dude, I fucking love these guys. And it's because you literally just got done doing that. And I
Mhm.
really started thinking about that deeply for the military. You have combatives, like you're getting literally bonded to these guys through physical hugging, through physical interaction and connection. And you end up loving them and you'll fucking die for them. And you need that. And I think jujitsu for veterans, and that's one of the reasons why jujitsu for veterans is so powerful. Like I love it.
Mhm.
I think it's something I try to tell people to do it all the time, dude. Like, give yourself a chance to reconnect with people. And some of you go, oh, I'm injured, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. Bro, just let people know your limitations, you know what I mean? Like, and they'll listen to you. They're gonna respect
Yeah.
that, just tell them like, "Look, I'm here to work out, to bond, to be a part of the community, and get a good workout in." It's so powerful, dude. Um, it's just
Mhm.
that's why I'm such a huge fan of it. And also, I do have a question here. So, Mike from It's a Veteran's Life, he said, James, could you speak on ways vets, and I'm going to say just people in general, could change their inner thoughts and give examples of how they can begin to make that switch? Well, I think Jeff and I both went over that pretty well. And it comes into what videos are you watching, what books are you reading, what words are you inviting in your life, what songs are you listening to. My mom used to say to me all the time, she's like, I hate the fucking music you listen to. It's so negative. And I listened to her and I didn't listen to her at the same time, but I did because I actually started listening to more songs that are very positive and have positive twists and like are really pushing me forward to be better. And I'm really grateful that I did listen to my mom when she said that to me. Cause she was very direct about it. She's like, I hate the music you listen to. She's like, it's not doing you any good. And,
Mhm.
I'm very
Yeah.
grateful that I had a mother that spoke frank to me, and really because she was protecting my mind, and I brought that up to the protection of mind and like the parenting thing. One of my very close friends, he's also a mentor. I would argue he's a mentor as well as a huge supporter of Project Refit as well. I don't think he would consider himself a mentor, but he is one to me. His name is Pat Carney. And Pat Carney actually, we sat down for breakfast one day, like probably like a couple months ago, maybe like a year ago at this point. I don't know. But he was sending his son away to, he's very nervous. His son's going to college. He's like, "Oh, I hope I did well." Like, he's getting out of the house. I can't really protect him anymore. And I was like, you protected him for years. You protected him by raising him right. You have a
Mhm.
great son. His son's great. His son's very smart. His son's very respectful. He's a strong kid. And I was like, dude, you did what you could and you protected him mentally is what you did. You made a formidable man. You made a formidable young man. And dude, he
Yeah.
almost cried. I saw it in his fucking eyes. He almost cried because he's like, dude, I never thought of it that way. Thank you. And it's real. Like you can protect yourself and others if you just lead them
Mhm.
the right way. And you try to share, you try to use what you did
Yeah.
wrong to help others. And I think that goes right back to that question of like examples to give. It is inviting in positive words. It's inviting in the good things and surrounding yourself with good people, because people at the bottom, they don't collaborate. People at the top, they all collaborate. The billionaires, the millionaires of the world, like not to bring money into it, but like those guys collaborate with each other. They actually support each other. They help each other. And people at the
Mhm.
bottom complain and talk shit and like, do all that bullshit. Stop doing that. You got to collaborate. You want to
Yeah.
work, you want to fight, you want to win, collaborate. It's not a single sport. Living is not a one person game. You have to have people with you. And that's actually one of the
Yeah.
reasons I'm so grateful for the relationship that I'm in right now with Lisa. Like she's a teammate. You know what I mean? Like I go on these retreats all the time
Mhm.
on weeks or weekends, multiple days. They're like mini deployments and like I'm away from her, and
Yeah.
she has not one time in my life has she ever given me shit for it. She actually said to me one time
Mm. Yeah.
years ago, I said to her, "Hey, like, what if I stop doing this stuff? Like, what if I just called it quits? Like, I'm not making a lot of money. Like, I'm not doing like, What if I did that? She's like, James, don't do that. Don't do that. You'll lose yourself. You'll
Mhm.
stop helping people. And again, most importantly, you'll lose yourself. I'll never forget those words. It makes me emotional thinking
Yeah.
about it because my mom did something similar for me when I was going through a really rough time in my life. My mom grabbed my fucking face, dude, and she was like, "Don't quit. Don't quit." Like grabbed my fucking face and like said that to me, right? I mean, she was in my
Yeah.
face and said that to me and reminded me of who the fuck I am and who she raised. You know what I mean? Oh, God, that fucking gets me
Yep.
going, dude. And, like, that's why when we're
Yeah.
out on those retreats, I'm like, "I'm not gonna give you any quarter. I'm not gonna fucking let you lie to yourself. I'm gonna get in your fucking face, and I'm gonna tell you the truth because you need to hear it," you know?
Mhm. Yeah. No, dude, people need the truth, and a lot of people won't speak up and say the truth because they don't wanna be
Yeah.
judged for it, you know? And I know that sometimes some things that I struggle with, it's like, I know I let a lot of stuff go. Like, at work, I'm known as Grumpy Jeff, you know? It's because I'm a motherfucker at work, If people are fucking slacking, I'm gonna tell them. Or if they're talking too much, I tell them, "Shut the fuck up." But a lot us, we just get e embarrassed,
Yeah, the truth
it's as
hurts
simple
is
as
what it
that.
is.
Um,
Yeah, and you know what? There
yeah,
is a way to, it's something else I like to argue with people about when they say stuff about like, "Oh, I like to tell people the truth, and I'm an asshole, or I'm blunt." I'm like, I'm blunt
yeah,
and I tell people the truth, but I don't think I'm an asshole about it. There's ways to deliver the truth to
yeah,
people and be kind and be nice and be respectful of that person, in the position that they're in, you know?
yeah, yep, no, I mean, the truth hurts, but
Yeah, dude.
gets the fucking point
Yeah.
across, that's for
It's actually
sure.
funny. Mike just said, speaking of no quarter, my wife said, "Thank you for calling me out on my shit." That's great. Tell her that, it's my pleasure, but at the same time, I bet you she has stuff that she has to work on too, so she shouldn't be too hard. We all do, right? We all play a part in our lives and other people's lives for what they're doing. So, listen, man, we just did a really long episode here, and I think it was fucking fantastic. And I thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, it was.
We usually only do an hour.
Hell yeah.
We almost are at 2 hours at this point. I didn't even recognize that until now. Um,
Yeah.
but I really, yeah, it was.
Dude, we
I
had a
hope you
great
come back
talk,
sometime too,
again.
man. And I would love to be on
Oh my
yours too
god,
and
yeah.
drive up there, hang out with Wade for a weekend, and get on your podcast and we can sit down together. Um, I think,
Yeah, dude. It's
yeah, I would
wintertime,
love
let's
to do
fucking
that. I
do
would
it.
love to do that. I just need a place to stay up
Just
there. If I can
get
stay on a
something
couch, let
coordinated.
me know.
Uh,
All right, cool.
I got a couch.
All
You're
right,
just
that's
gonna have some
fine.
cats on you.
We'll stay over a night and I'll sleep on the couch. We'll do an episode and I'll go home. But yeah, man, thank you for
Awesome.
joining today. Thank you for being on the retreat. And if you have any words you want to say as you exit to, encourage other people to do a retreat or take care of themselves, please take the time to do so now.
Uh, yeah, if anybody's listening that's never been on a retreat or think that another person needs it more than them, you're fucking wrong. I accepted it. I decided to go on a retreat for the first time ever, and I've been out of the Marine Corps since 2012, and, I am so glad I did it. It kinda opens your eyes, you meet some great guys, listen to their stories, and then you help them after hearing their stories because they're looking for answers. You give them your opinion, they could take it or not, but, it seemed like with some of the guys that we had, they accepted it, and that's what I liked. That's what I really enjoyed about this, and this is where you know, taking action starts is right here, and I hope to carry that, you know, post-retreat life, up here in Massachusetts, with the guys that we have up here and getting us active, getting us talking, getting us to trust each other. So let's Terry Flogger, there he is. I get it. You know what? Long story short
Yeah.
about this guy, Terry Flogger. In Afghanistan, we got into a firefight. I'll never forget it. This is when I absolutely shit myself. I thought he got shot in the head the way that he was fucking just low crawling as fast as he could. The round hit off his
Mm.
RCO and went right across his neck, just a grazing wound. That was it. And that changed so much with a lot of us. And seeing him go down like that, ah, dude, that's my brother right there, Terry Flogger. So
Shit,
I love
Terry,
you, bro.
thank you.
But I would love to see Terry on one of these retreats. I'll try and
Come
talk
with
with
him.
him
Do it with
and
him.
maybe get something.
Where is he located?
Yeah, fucking
You're gonna have to
North
come to
Carolina.
well, we have a
So
Poconos retreat March weekend 7 to 9. 7's a travel day, 9's a travel day, 7 night and 8 night. We have a fireside chat. And then after that, we're gonna be going to Patriot Point. Uh, probably the month after that, we're
okay,
gonna go to Patriot Point for a couple of days too. Probably like a 4-day from Thursday to Sunday. But Terry, you're more than welcome to come out,
okay.
brother. And you too, Jeff. We actually have East Coast flights that are at no cost. So if you want to come, let me know now. Um, and we'll get you out on one.
All right, yeah, I'll try and work something out on my end. I mean,
Cool.
I could even drive. I fucking so, um, but I gotta talk it over with my two bosses.
Right, your
So
wife and your work boss.
to work,
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
respect that.
So we'll but no, dude, I thank you. I thank Wade. I definitely thank Wade for
Hell yeah.
introducing me to Project Refit. I am committed to your vision, your goals, and I love it. I see something eye to eye with you, and I really
Thank you,
enjoy
Jeff.
talking with you, James, and to all the other
I
guys.
appreciate that. Absolutely,
So
brother. It's my
thank you.
pleasure. It's my honor, actually. I feel so grateful to be a part of this and to be able to help out in this fight. Honestly, it's more than anything I could ever say. I can't even put in the words sometimes how grateful I feel to be able to do this and earn the respect of so many of fucking these warriors that have served us. And I'm grateful to be a part of this fight. So
Hmm.
thank you for saying that, brother. All right.
Hell yeah, man.
Cool. All right,
Love
everybody.
it.
Thank you so much. Remember, if you want to be a monthly donor to help us continue to do this, go to projectrefit.us /donate. Follow us on all of our platforms. We're going to be launching these episodes actually all over Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that stuff. We have I think it's close to 30 episodes that we're going to drop soon. So yeah, we're really excited about
Hell
that
yeah.
and keeping this thing going. And somebody said earlier that they're looking to join the Monday and Friday nights. Monday and Friday night is actually what's called the Radio Check Buddy Check-in program. You can jump in if you just want to share your story, talk to some guys, shoot the shit. Mondays are live streamed, Fridays are private. It's a program, it's a peer support group. But this is a actual show. So that one's not really a show. It's a peer support group. And yeah, so come out on retreats with us, start a fire team in your area. Let us know if you want to do that and be a part of the fight. Just talk to your buddies. That's all you got to do to be a part of this fight and to join us. Talk to your buddies. All right. See